This is Sport Night Amplified with Andile, powered by SABC Sport. Exclusive to Metro FM. Game over.
Noko Matlou now joins me on the line. Noko, thank you so much for joining us. Welcome back. Congratulations on everything. I have so much to say. I don't know where to start. Welcome back.
Thank you, Andile. Let me greet you and greet the listeners of Metro FM.
You arrived, I think it was early this morning. I saw Hilda was with you. I saw Tembi also was with you.
Yes, actually we arrived last night around 5 p.m.
Around 5 p.m. last night?
Yes.
And have you had time to relax? Have you had time to take a breather, reflect on everything?
It's not Andile. Remember, in South Africa right now it's at night. In Australia it's in the morning. So it's kind of difficult for us to adjust for the time in South Africa. So it's very difficult.
Noko, I think the first thing that any and every South African wants to say to every Banyana player is congratulations. Reaching the last 16, making history in that way, taking teams like Sweden on, taking teams like Netherlands on. They will not soon forget Banyana across the world. Congratulations on that. It's a huge milestone that you guys achieved.
No, thank you, Andile, for what we have achieved, the history that we have made. It wasn't easy, but we knew from when we won AFCON that when we go to the World Cup, it's not going to be easy because the team that we're going to face, they are ranking higher than us. So we have to give our best, and we have done that. We pushed Sweden to their limit, and we also pushed the Argentina and Italy, because remember they are ranking higher than us, but we managed to push them to their limit, and we have done that. We have done well. And qualifying for the knockout stages, it wasn't easy, but we knew as a team that our objective is to qualify for knockout stages.
Look, and I agree with you. They ranked higher than you, but on the field of play in 90 minutes, do you think their rankings came to the field? Do you think they were as better than you as what the rankings say? Because I don't think so.
Not really, Andile. Remember, all African teams that they went to the World Cup, we wanted to prove a point that we are better than them. So I think all the African teams have done that. Except Zambia, we all qualify for knockout stages. But it wasn't easy. But it shows that they work hard, especially on our side. The sponsors as well have been with us throughout of Spain and our cycle. But they're always there for us, and their support, it shows that when they keep on supporting us, we also have improved as a team.
I watched the game against Sweden, and although I think you guys could have at least gotten a draw out of that, yes, I accept that we lost that. I watched the game against Argentina, Italy, and I thought we should have won both those games. Mm-hmm. Before we even go to the Netherlands game, what is your assessment of the first three games?
I think we played well both games, Argentina and Sweden. They didn't. I think for them they didn't accept that, but we gave the good performance as a team. And I think there are millions of South Africans. They are proud of our performance, and I think we have done well.
Noko, you played the third game. I think you missed the first and the second games.
Yes.
And there was a large voice that said, hey, man, we clearly need Noko there. If you look at her height with the balls coming in, if you look at her experience, we need her. We missed her in the first two games. What was happening in camp? What are the conversations happening in camp between you and the coach as to why perhaps you weren't playing the second game, you weren't playing the first game?
Mm-hmm. Remember, Andile, there is always when the coach analyzes the teams and when the coach they put the team, they always look the tactics for the teams. And I think the team that played against Sweden and Italy, they have done well. They have really done well. So I don't think when the people were complaining about we need to go there, but I think the team that played for Sweden and against Argentina, they have done well.
Noko, did you and the coach at any point have conversations about your non-inclusion in the team? Because I know that happened. So what I'm asking is, what was that conversation essentially?
I knew I'm gonna play, and coach knew I'm gonna play. But as I said, the tactics for the day, they needed the players that they played for the day.
So what did she say to you? What was the conversation? Was it before the first game, before the second game? When did she let you know, Noko, these 2 games I'm not playing you, maybe the third game I'll play you? What was the conversation? What did she say to you?
No, we had the conversation with the coaches and stuff that I'm gonna play, but whether it's the first game or the second game, but I knew I'm gonna play. But with the 2 games, the players that they played, they have done well.
I'm going to take a break, Noko. When we come back, we'll continue with our conversation with a World Cup returnee coming back from New Zealand and Australia. Noko Matlou, part of the Banyana team that made history, talks to us about all things Banyana.
For the love of the game.
22 after the L6 on the Mighty Metro FM at Sports Are Amplified with Andile. I am Andile Ncube, and on the line we've got Noko Matlou, the longest serving Banyana player. Yet another World Cup for her. 2 performances in that World Cup, missing out on the first 2 games. And we're just analysing and going back and, looking at the World Cup and Banyana's performances out there. I hear Ohio, Bulugwan.
Yeah, I can Bulugwan. Yeah, because remember again, before to fly out to Spain.
Yeah, to go back and do what you do best, of course. But Noko, the big criticism for the technical team was around the fact that we were not dealing with set pieces, crosses, corners into the box well. You look at the average team height, South Africa. Defensively, you and Andile are some of the tallest players in the back there. You were not there in those first 2 games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Andile, I think we saw on the social media what people they were saying, but in other ways, it's true. If you look at the team that we played against Sweden, I think their height is 1.75 to 1.8, while we have 1.5 to 1.65. So it shows that their height it was advantage for them. So that is why whenever we considered set pieces on every game, we were a little bit worried because they were taller than us. So, and remember, all the games that we played, we considered all our goals from set pieces.
Are there ever conversations when I know could you say, Coach, maybe we're now way born, because you are saying it now, which means even you could see it. Are there ever conversations from the players to say, Coach, maybe we're now way born, but this is how we're conceding. We're struggling with height.
Yeah, I think most of after the first game, we also trained the set pieces and see how we will manage to defend the set pieces. But it wasn't easy because it was tough because all the teams that we played they had height, but we tried our level.
So then why not put the tallest defender, which is you?
As I said, Andile, coaches, they always, when we play the game, they analyze the game, the tactics of the day. What matters.
And then, Noko, I know you shared a room with Andile when you guys arrived.
Yeah.
And later on, of course, you guys had your single rooms. What was the mood in and around the Andile thing? Because I know you guys are aware of what was happening as far as, the cries for Andile to start. Once again, she is one of the tallest members of the squad, so height advantage, and there's a lot of speak about her having international experience as well. What was the feeling from the camp side in and around Andile Dlamini?
We had a conversation with Andile. We spoke about it, but because at the end of the day, it's the coaches who decide. At the end of the day, but because of the tactics, I think they preferred Kaylen over Andile because of some other aspect of the game. That's what happened.
So when you say you had conversations with Andile, the players had conversations with Andile, did the coaching staff at any point, even maybe in training, show that they wanted to play Andile?
I can say what happened. The coaches decided. They decided to go with Kaylen. I think maybe it depends with the tactics of the day of the game. I think when they go with the Kalen, it means the game of the day has required Kalen to play.
So the conversation didn't even come up to say, guys, are we going to play Andile? Was there even a conversation in training? Was there even a conversation amongst you guys? Or were you guys all in sync to say, no, Kalen is the best suited part of this? Did the senior team players perhaps say, hey, coach, are they things that we could do better? Was there conversations like that? Or okay, coach,
because we whatever happened or at the end of the day, the coaches decide, not the players that decide. It's the coaches and technical staff that decide who's gonna play at the end of the day.
And how was Kaylin? Because I can imagine for her as well, it must not be nice to see all that was being said, all that was being reported, all that was coming to her. I can imagine that didn't sit well with her too.
Yeah, there is always criticism, Andile, and she knows. It depends as a person how you take it. Sometimes it can demoralize you, sometimes it can build you. So I remember even when we played last game against Netherlands, the goal that she conceded, I even went to her and said, hey, head up. It's part of the game. Sometimes you make a mistake. You have to grow from that.
I'm not sure if this is a fair question to you, Noko, but I'm going to throw it at you anyway. Do you think having Andile in goals for any of those matches, or maybe even all of them, do you think it would have made a difference to how Banyana played and how far we got?
I think the goalkeeper that played at the end of the day, he has to do the job for the day. And I think for me, Kaylin played for those games. I think, to be honest, she did well also.
But do you think Andile would have done better?
Yeah, I think it depends on the day, Andile, who was going to be the goalkeeper on the day. Yeah.
If you look back at the World Cup, Noko, and like I said, you guys have done well. There's no speaking of whether. I just feel that looking at those matches, I'm a little bit sad because I know you could have done better. I know you could have gone to the semi-finals even. I don't even think that Netherlands team was that much better than you. I don't think so. I think, yes, they were our biggest challenge, but I think we had it in us to beat them. So when you reflect back from somebody who was in camp, from somebody who looked at all of it, where do you think we got it wrong?
Yeah, we can take positive out of the game, but I think, Andile, to be honest, the chances that we missed a lot of chances, and if we've got those chances that we have missed, I think we have been talking different stories. They only got 2 opportunities from our mistake, and they used it, and we got a lot of opportunities, and we didn't capitalize on that. If we could have capitalized on that, I think now we'll be talking another story.
If you're just joining us, we've got a World Cup returnee, somebody who's achieved more than any South African has ever at a World Cup. Noko Matlou alongside with Banyana, going to the last 16 of the World Cup. She's off to Spain pretty soon. She's at home at the moment in Polokwane, and we're reflecting back on the World Cup that was. Noko, how much of what happened here in South Africa before you guys left, how much of that did you guys carry into the World Cup?
Well, we have carried a lot of hopes when we leave South Africa to World Cup, because remember when we went to the World Cup, we were not going to represent ourselves. There was a lot of 60 million plus in South Africa, and those players that are playing in Hollywood Bet and in the Sasol League, we went there to represent them. So the pressure was on us. But I think out of every circumstances, we have done well as a team under the pressure that we had.
And the fight that you guys put on, when you fought for rightfully what was yours with the South African Football Association, that was hanging over you as well. That last game that you didn't play, that was hanging over you as well. When did you guys shake that off and start focusing on the World Cup? Did you guys shake that off at all?
I think before the game against Botswana and Andile, when we didn't want to play that game, but we know our rights. And when we raise our rights and people, they don't want to listen to us, And after that game against Botswana, after it is done, we focused on the big task ahead of us, which is our World Cup. And because we knew if we don't do well, people will always talk about what happened before we leave. And we have done that so that people, they mustn't talk about what happened against Botswana. So we went there and say, hey guys, let's go there and perform to our best of our ability so that people, they can remember us as the best team in the world, that we went to the World Cup and be knocked out of the group stages, out of the knockout stages.
Noko, I go bole ke tsogela anything ka 4 a.m. I go bole na o ra re gona le ntwe ke tswelang ka 4 a.m. Ke go tsogetse Noko ka 4.
But I think Uzurile wa shebella game, and I think to be honest, Andile, you didn't regret to wake up in the morning and watch.
I could never regret anything that you do on the pitch, Noko. I can tell you that now. Last one though, I can imagine, there are players that were asking questions about, hey, technically coach, this and this, technically coach Andile, technically coach, Kalen. And I remember somebody saying people are speaking about the camp is divided. As far as the players were concerned, was the camp divided? Was the solidarity as strong as it was when you guys were fighting for your rights here? Did you carry that through? Did it make you guys closer and tighter? Or, what happened in Australia now made you guys even, more divided? What was the mood at camp like?
The mood was high. Remember, Andile, this team of Banyana is very special. When we fight for each other. When we fight together. And we know when we went to Australia, we're going to represent millions of South Africa. We have to be united. We have to be one thing. That was happening on Australia. We were one. We represent the country very well. We have been united. We have been one, and we have done well. As one, together as a team, we have done well.
Noko, I'm sure the DM did later, man. Pela o millionaire no right chata re. Ask a DM. And wait, here's the thing. You're probably one of the only players in the team that began playing at a time when there was hardly money in women's football. There was no money at all, in fact, for you when you started playing. Versus now, when there still isn't the sort of money that you deserve, but at least now you can make a decent living. It must be such a relief to you to do the thing that you love under all these conditions of a little bit of money.
It's a relief, Andile, to be honest, to tell you the truth. Because remember, way back, whatever we get, we're appreciating it. But for now, I think things have changed. And I think the small amount that we get, I think it will change our lives. It will change our family's life. Remember, most of Banyana players, they are breadwinners at home. So I think it will change their family's life.
What does the future look like for Noko Matlou? I mean, have you thought about it post this World Cup? Is it something where you're saying, hey, I'm just a player going about my game, I'm playing my game, and anything else and everything else I haven't given thought to? What is Noko thinking right now about her personal career for Banyana and for club football?
Yeah. I've been getting some messages. Are you retiring? What's happening? Are you retiring? So I'm still a player, Andile, and I'm looking forward. Remember, I just extended my contract with my team, SDI, so I'm going back. I'm going to play for my team, and yeah.
And you're still available for Banyana?
Yeah, I'm still available, yes.
Noko, I really appreciate you. I know this wasn't easy. It felt like a grilling instead of it being a celebration, but it was a bit of both, because I think it's important that South Africans, put to rest the many feelings and thoughts they have of what happened in Australia and New Zealand. But I think at the bottom of all of it is support. And what you guys have done is you've elevated the game of women in this country as far as football is concerned.
No, thank you so much, Andile, and thanks to the listeners of my